Welcome to Wholesale Hotline, where we cover everything to do with wholesale real estate. I'm Jamil Damji.
I'm Brent Daniels.
And I am Pace Morby.
And together we cover the most important parts of wholesale real estate.
Lead generation.
Conversion of sellers into contracts.
And dispositions. Guys, remember when you're watching this show, do us a favor and squad up in the comments.
Make sure that you are liking and subscribing to the YouTube channels and in the Facebook group Wholesale Hotline.
Most important, we want to know we're doing a great job for you and helping you build your business. So go give us a review on iTunes and or Spotify.
So squad up and enjoy the show!
Welcome to Wholesale Hotline number 103. We're going to crack this thing open with a quote from this phenomenal book by Gary V, 12 and a half. It's on page 25. It says, rewiring your emotions takes time. Start by surrounding yourself with optimistic people and limit interactions with people who drag you down mentally. And I love this part. Fill your ears with positivity through podcasts and videos 24/7, 365. Welcome, everybody. I am Brent Daniels, Mr. TTP, and I am here with...
I am Jamil Damji, the astro flipping genie, also the king of dispositions.
That's it. We would not be complete without the peanut butter in this PB&J sandwich, and that is Mr. Sub 2. How's it going?
Hey, Smorby. Good to see you, brother. I love that quote a lot. I love that book a lot. One thing that Brent says all the time is who is on your board of advisors.
Yep.
And who are you hanging out with? What are you doing in your free time? You know, it changes the frequency in which you operate every single day. Jamil talks a lot about frequency. And it's really interesting. I had an epiphany yesterday during Sunday service that I realized, because I'm not a 9-to-5 guy. I know Jamil and Brent, you guys were really never 9-to-5 guys. But there's a lot of people, there's a lot of people that were raised in like a 9-to-5 household, right?
Yep.
And there is a rewiring that has to be done with 9-to-5 mentalities, because there's people that literally need to be told what to do, how to do it, why to do it before they take action. And so a lot of people have analysis paralysis because they're trained to clock in every single day at the right time, sit down in the same desk, report to the same person, do the same actions over and over and over and over and over, right?
Yep.
And somebody asked, what's the quickest way to get out of that mindset? And you just freaking answered it.
That's it.
Yep. Will you read that quote one more time? Do you got it?
Yeah, absolutely. Here we go.
But read it in a Scottish accent, if you would.
Okay.
Is that a leprechaun accent?
Well, you never know, but I'm going to do my best here. Rewiring your emotions takes a bit of time, don't you know? Yeah, there you go. Start by surrounding yourself with optimistic people. Yeah, you got to be optimistic from top to bottom and left to right. You know what I'm saying? Good. And then you limit your interactions with the negative people. Yeah, you don't want them. You don't want them in their life. But fill your ears with the positivity. The Lord. Oh, Lord. Bring it to me now. Oh, positivity. And positivity through the podcast. Oh, I like those podcasts. Those are wonderful. I listen to them and I push the play and it plays it up. And I don't even know. That sounds fantastic. And in the videos. Oh, everything's video these days, don't you say? Oh, the Lord. 24/7, 365. There you go.
So
Amazing.
Well done.
That is
well
more.
done.
I think that's more
Irish.
Irishy.
That was 100% Irish. Yes.
Scottish is more.
That was leprechaun, bro.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
So,
Mrs. Doubtfire.
So good, dude.
Actually, that was Mrs. Doubtfire, bro.
That's it.
Oh my gosh,
That's
good catch, Susie Evans. That was really, really good. Thank you, Susie.
How fun.
So yeah,
guys, we have a lot of good questions already popping in here.
Right. It's the people you surround yourself with. It is the things that you're putting into your mind. I mean, when you become an entrepreneur, you're obsessed.
Yes.
You know, and that's what we are. No matter where you're starting in this thing, the moment that you make the decision that you're going to go out and you're going to start your own business and really just try to pull money out of it, pull value out of it, pull service to the community out of the air, is a big day. And you need to be surrounded by people that are also doing that, because it's a whole different mentality. It's a whole
100%.
different mentality.
And it's really interesting that you see, for people who might have a predisposition for a mood.
Yeah.
Okay. You might.
Did you just sneak the word disposition into your
yes,
sentence?
Predisposition.
Yeah.
But you say you have, your general tone, the general way you are is and you'll know if you're a little bit moody, if you tend to be more, your friends always ask you, hey, are you okay? Is there something wrong? If you're that kind of person, and that's totally fine. But I would venture to say that there has to be some information that you're feeding yourself that's creating that malaise.
100%.
And you can curate the way that you're interacting or feeling in the world by changing what you're consuming. Right. I remember one, Pace and I, we talked about this a little bit, that Cardi B song, WAP, came out. Yeah. And I just was listening to it. And then I'd wake up in the morning and I'd start just thinking, the lyrics of that song were just playing in my head. Like they had been going all night long. And I woke up with that in my head and I thought to myself, holy crap. Yeah. This is not how I want my subconscious mind to be marinating. And then I also found that if I'm listening to, really hardcore gangster rap, I'm a little edgier in the world. I'm a little less, I'm a little less kind. I'm a little less compassionate. I'm a little quicker to, tell someone where they can stuff it. And that's not helpful. That's not putting me in anywhere positive. That's not allowing me to build relationships and create bonds with people.
Well, look at any show that's about business.
Right.
It's all greedy people, cutthroat people doing real shady things, or they're just low emotion, nothing. Like, I can't watch a lot of dramatic shows or anything. Like, it bleeds into everything. It bleeds into the subconscious, into the words that I say, or whatever else. So you really got to protect what you're putting into your brain, for sure.
Amazing. Yeah. So, we can all change a little bit what we're consuming. Sure. And that's, from the music we watch, from the TV that we watch, when we do watch it, from the books we're reading. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Gary Vaynerchuk is an inspiring guy, and I love the words he's written there.
12 and a half. Great book. Gratitude, self-awareness, accountability, optimism, empathy, kindness, tenacity, curiosity, patience, conviction, humility, ambition, and his half is kind candor. It's phenomenal. There you go. Pace, will you address the elephant in the room of having a baby soon, right? Everybody's asking here, what's going on there? What you want to give everybody an update?
It's not.
Yeah, we are baby.
No, I fucked that up. Yeah.
Baby more. Yeah, the elephant thing was hilarious. My wife. My wife.
I knew it as soon as it came out, and I saw your eyes sparkle.
Like,
and you're gonna get me. Yeah.
Oh, so good. Laura's not paying attention, so it's all good.
Yeah.
She's upstairs. We just left the doctor's office. She is 5 days, actually 6 days past due. We were supposed to have the baby last week. And the baby is coming officially Wednesday morning. The doctor decided, hey, this has gone on too long. The baby's growing too big. We can't wait for a natural birth any longer. We have to induce this baby. And so we scheduled a baby birth on Wednesday morning, right during the middle of Jamil and I shooting with Grant Cardone, which is amazing. So Jamil will do that on his own, and I'll have to FaceTime into recording. But that's the fun. I might name the baby Grant Cardone just in honor. But baby's coming on Wednesday morning, so she'll be about 8 days late. I think she just enjoys cooking in that oven, and we're excited for the baby to come.
Awesome.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Thank you for everybody who's asked. We've gotten a lot of gifts. A lot of the sub 2 students who know where I live, or actually Jerry Norton disciples know my address because Jerry gave his address away on his YouTube channel, which was great. So I get gifts all the time from Jerry. People think that Jerry still lives there. So I get all sorts of things like Books of Mormon and Christ statues and stuff like that. But I appreciate all the warm wishes and the love, guys. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Awesome. Love this. Well, guys, this show is all question and answer. We really wanted to open this up. So the only way the show works is if you guys put in the questions. Also, we'd love to ring the victory bell. So anybody that has had success over the last week since we've seen you last, let us know. Whether you locked up a deal, whether you sold a deal, whether you dispoed a deal, whatever it is, let us know. We want to celebrate you.
I want to highlight a student just real quick. I just got a text message about this. His name is Alejandro Alvarez in Houston. DFW. He is always helping people in the side chat. Always. Okay. He's in here all the time, but he's currently at a closing making $155,000. How did he do this? This is what he did. I bought a list in North Carolina. It cost me personally $21,000. I gave that list away to my students, as I do probably once a month. I spend about $30,000 a month in free lists for my students for them to continually squat up with each other. And he squatted up with somebody here in Wholesale Hotline, and they went off to make $150,000 on a land deal, wholesaling it. And they closed today. So Alejandro Alvarez, shout out to you, bro. $150,000 net, by the way, net.
Wow.
Their original assignment fee
well done.
Their original assignment fee was $155,000, but they used transactional funding in order to get the deal done. Jamil, why would somebody use transactional funding to get a deal done?
Well, there could be a couple of reasons. First might be they're in a state that doesn't allow for assignments or double closes or simultaneous closes where they use the buyer's funds to close the first transaction. So if this closing happened at a title company or in a place where that wasn't available, transactional funding would be the solution. And transactional funding, guys, that's when somebody comes in, they look at the deal, they look at your purchase and sale, they look at your sale agreement, they make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted, and that you actually have both sides of your transaction complete. Yep. What they'll do is they'll wire in the money on your behalf as a lender. They will allow you to close the deal in your name. You'll own the property for all of 15 minutes. That second contract will then be completed, and the second recordation will happen, which will then put that lender out of the deal, give them their money, and your profits will come from the difference. Now, I've seen transactional funding cost anywhere between 1% to 4%. So, Pace, can you tell us what was the fee on this deal?
$5,000.
$5,000. Not a bad amount not a bad thing to make $150,000.
The transactional funding cost $5,000.
Yep.
And how much was the deal? Like, what was the purchase price?
I don't know the purchase price.
Okay.
All I know is their net was $155,000, and then they had to pay closing costs and all the lender, like closing costs and the lender, all in was $5,000.
Awesome.
It was a bigger deal. It was 7 acres assignment. It's a bigger deal.
Amazing. Well done. Well done. Well done. Well done.
Yeah, really, really good stuff. So guys, I'm pointing that out. I wanted to highlight that because Brent is talking about, hey, let's highlight people that are doing a lot of deals. There's a good amount of people in here. Ingrid, I don't know if she's in here. She highlighted that she made $255,000 on an assignment last week.
Yep.
And she sold it to one of our boys, right?
Yep.
One of your guys that you trained up. He's crushing it up north. Here's what's funny about that. She reaches out to me about the deal, and I go, I don't have time to look at that. Send it to somebody else. And I send her Jeremy on your team's info because it's a land deal.
Yep.
And I don't know how she got Luke's info, but she ended up selling it to Luke, I believe.
Yeah, well, Luke and I made cold calls together for 2.5 years. He would, every deal we split 50-50. He did phenomenal. And now, I mean, they're developing all over the place. They've got an incredible real estate portfolio. They're doing it the right way. They're taking they're keeping it lean with their business so that they can put their money into their investments and really grow it for the long term. So compounding is really going to affect them for sure. It's phenomenal. So
I've got a 44 unit multifamily property in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is one of the markets I'm buying in. Seller finance, $5 million, $100,000 down, which is 2.5%. 2.5% down on a $5 million acquisition. Pretty amazing. I've got one of those deals going on. And speaking of North Carolina, Jamil, can you read this from where you're at?
Yep. Yeah. Christina, how you doing, Christina? She's a sweetheart. She said, I just bought a flip from Miles Barrio. Guys, Miles Barrio, amazing. Another fellow sub-2 student. It's a fire property. $60,000 purchase price. There's $100,000 in renovation budget. ARV is $265. I comped it last week on Straight Outta Compin'. Christina, congratulations on buying that flip. Not only did you get your hands on a great property, also you did a deal with another sub-2 student, Miles Barrio, who is not only a friend of the show, but a friend of all of ours personally. And we couldn't be prouder of you. So good. She's using a private money lender. Wow, this is even better, guys. This is where when you have the excuse that I have no money, I can't get this done without any resources. Christina is exemplifying here how she puts this deal together without any cash. So she gets a private money lender, $0 out of her pocket. She's sharing the entire process. And where will she be sharing this?
Well, go on Christina Solara's Instagram. She's hashtagging it called Flippin' Fireproof.
So if you guys are on IG, go follow the hashtag Flippin' Fireproof, and you'll get updates of how Christina is. Awesome. You know what's interesting is a fire damaged fix and flip is one of the most advanced types of projects you can do. And Christina, kudos on you for having the bravery to get out there and take on a deal like that. I'm excited to watch your progress and for you to knock it out of the park. Good job.
Yeah, keep us posted. Awesome.
Yeah, I love that. Her first deal was assigning a sub-2 deal to me. 0% seller finance deal. She assigned the deal to me. It was a triplex in Fayetteville, North Carolina, because she knew I was a buyer there. That was her first freaking deal. And she's done multiple deals since then. And here she goes. She's got she's got a triple-digit flip in the process, bro. Dang. Wow. Okay, so Denise, I like this. She says, I recommend joining a mentorship for sure because they can help you join and scale your business. I'm an Astro student. Jamil can teach you how to work smarter, not harder. Guys, I tell you, I spend a lot of time with Jamil. He teaches me how to work smarter all the time. Jamil and Brent, I'm curious, are you guys currently paying for any education or masterminds right now?
Yeah. Yeah, I just wrote a check for $30,000 for a mastermind. And what's interesting is the person who's running that mastermind, Mr. Cody Sperber, for those of you that aren't familiar with him, great guy.
Yeah.
He over the weekend had Pace and I met Pace and I out in San Diego, and just at a breakfast, opened doors to guys that are doing business in the hundreds of millions of dollars, guys that are doing huge syndications and really, really creating massive opportunities for wealth. And I can't stress this enough, guys. When you're in high level masterminds where people are just doing a level of business that could be uncomfortable for you, put yourself there. Pace and I have routinely grown out of masterminds. And I think that that's a fantastic thing to happen, right? You get into a mastermind, you meet the people that are there, you do as much business, as much networking, as much relationship building as you can. But then there's a point. There's a point where the people that are in that room can't help you grow anymore. And that's when you have to then level up into a new one. And so what Pace and I have been trying to do is we've been trying to put ourselves in masterminds where we're the worst guys in the room, where we're the ones that everybody's kind of like, oh, who are the noobs?
Yeah.
You know, and that's where you want to be. You want to be uncomfortable. You want to be around big hitters, because that's what's going to level you up into a new game.
Well, it's the whole analogy of you start with like a styrofoam cup and a seed, right?
Yes.
That thing grows only so far in that styrofoam cup. You have to repot it, and then it grows bigger, and then you have to repot it and grows bigger. That's what you're talking about.
100%.
Yeah, I find, you know, the
what if you don't have a cup at all? What happens to the seed?
Yeah, it blows away in the wind. Pace. It goes to drop shipping, I believe. Yeah. Anyway, so
what about you, Brent? Are you in a
just
mastermind?
got back from Tulum. I just got back from the Multipliers Mastermind. There was 3 guys that I met there that started with other people's money. Just found good opportunities. They just found opportunities, and they put together like a presentation to people that they knew had money, and we're like, hey, listen, I can get this deal done. Will you be the money person for it?
Yeah.
And ended up building these syndications and exiting the 3 of them combined for $45 million real cash money after 3 years of being in real estate.
Incredible.
You know what I mean? So, it really, it's one, I think going into that, you have to go into it understanding what your strengths and weaknesses are. And I find that when you go into and surround yourself with incredible people, that's somebody that's adding something to what you're already doing. You know
Correct.
what I mean? I like staying focused. I love what I do on a daily basis, but they can add in different ways. So it's really,
I am part of 5 different masterminds.
yeah.
I'm part of a secret super duper one with Scott Oots.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we all are. It's like an invite only. It's very inexpensive actually, but it's limited to only 50 members, people that are operating at a very high level. You have to get invited. That's number 1. Number 2, we are part of Avengers, which is expensive, but I can tell you, I already got all my money back in our first hour of being in the room, because here's the difference. There's other people, I'm sure, that spend that 30 grand to go into a mastermind, and they don't actually go up and leverage relationships, and they leave going, oh man, I didn't learn anything today. Guys, I literally go to masterminds with the sole intention of not learning shit. What I want to do is I want to go meet people that are doing big things, and I want to stand next to them, and I want to go to dinner with them, and I want to be around them and hear their conversations and hear the types of things that are coming out of their mouth. We all 3 are part of the family mastermind as well, which is a really good mastermind. When Brent Daniels ran his mastermind with Todd Toback, I was part of that, but I don't know if you guys are making a comeback on that or what.
Nah.
No. Okay. So,
Nah.
I'm part of Astro Flipping Mastermind.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, it's a good one. And then I'm part of my own, right? We grew our own, and we change it and we upgrade it every quarter, which is awesome. But I personally feel like masterminds are the ultimate Costco, right? I tell the analogy all the time, like, why would I pay to go in? I used to criticize this actually, like, why would I try and learn things in a mastermind that I could learn on YouTube? And it's such an interesting concept, because I now am so, like, we meet Pete Vargas the other day, right? So check this out, Brent.
What a stud.
3 years ago, Jamil and I go to Vegas with the sole intention of going to 10X to feel what it felt like to be in that room and the energy that 10X actually creates. Because Jamil and I
Grant Cardone deal?
Yep.
Yeah, Grant Cardone's event. So we go to the event, we sit in the audience. We are there for maybe an hour. And we're there for only an hour because we got exactly what we needed. We did not intend to see Pete Vargas speak, but we saw Pete Vargas speak. We felt the energy in the room, and we told ourselves, one day we will speak on that stage on 10X. We will provide so much value to the community that they will demand that we have to speak on that stage. Number 2, we will work with Pete Vargas one day. Okay, so check this out. Jamil and I have reached out to Pete Vargas. We have met with Pete Vargas face-to-face. We saw him the other day in front of Grant Cardone's opening, and we told him, you're a big hero of ours, but all he looked at us as were fanboys, which is perfectly fine. It wasn't until he saw us inside of a mastermind that he took us seriously.
Yeah.
He sat next to us at Nobu. He then he talked to us the other night for 3 straight hours as peers, because we were in the same mastermind as him. He invites us to dinner Tuesday night, and he says, I want to put you guys on more stages, and I want to talk about getting you guys on the 10X stage with Grant Cardone. None of our dreams were going to be a possibility until we could pay to open up that door and have conversations, because the reality is everybody is vying for these very high level people's, their time.
Mm-hmm.
And how do they know you're serious or not if you're just the guy that's like, can I take you to lunch? Can I stop by your office? Can I ask you questions? Hey, can I DM you and just ask you tons of questions? The only filtering mechanism that I know about is pay to open up the door.
Yep.
And 5 years ago, I would have laughed at myself. Now looking at this, I'm like, why didn't I do this when I was early in my 20s? Why didn't I invest in myself? Instead, I just tried to work hard, not smart. And stroking checks, opening up doors was one of the biggest things for me. So, however, the reason why you guys are here on Wholesale Hotline is you guys are, a lot of people in here are budding seeds, and you're the first cup that your seed is being planted in is our Wholesale Hotline community. So welcome to our amazing community. Let the people in the side chat be the fertilizer. Let the people in the side chat be your water. I can tell you there's a lot of people doing a lot of deals in here. Okay. Medium Wave Dave is one of them. Tyler Townsley is another one. I see a ton of students in here that are doing 10 plus deals every single month. TTP students, Astro flipping students, sub 2 students are here. They are trained. They have additional resources that most people don't have. And they're here to help you in the side chat. So make sure that when you guys are here in Wholesale Hotline, we're going to get to more Q&A stuff, but make sure you are taking your time and squatting up in the comments, because hundreds of thousands of dollars every single week are made in this free podcast that we created for you guys. So let's get to some Q&A. What do you guys say?
Yeah. Carrie asks, hey fellas, love what you're doing. Would you suggest virtual wholesaling for newbies who are living in markets like Seattle? I feel like I'm running my head into a wall trying to get momentum. What do you think?
Well, I want to answer this in a couple of parts. Okay. First and foremost, Carrie, I'm going to call it out. Okay. There's some scarcity thinking going on over there. And there's this thought that if there's less people, or if it's a less competitive market, if there's less people wanting to play in the market, I'm going to do better there. And I'm going to tell you that the reality, Carrie, is it's not. It's not going to be any better in Turd Island as it's going to be in Seattle. Okay. The reason that it's not going to be any better in Turd Island than it will be in Seattle is because there's still only a certain percentage of people who are going to get up every single day and consistently do the work. Consistently do the work. You are letting your mind, you are letting limiting belief, you are letting the fact that there's high level of competitiveness and a lot of people in the area crush you before you start. And I would love for you to connect with somebody who's an astro flipping in the chat and ask them how well we thrive in markets that are highly competitive, markets like Southern California, markets like Phoenix, Arizona, markets like Seattle, Washington, Dallas, Texas, the places where you might instinctively think to run away from. That is not where you're going to do business. In fact, I can tell you that when you're looking at markets that are a little less productive or have fewer buyers in them, you're going to have difficulty selling deals in those markets because it's not attracting the liquidity that you're looking for.
Right.
It's not attracting the buyers. So, Carrie, I would definitely say that you are in the right place. You just have to get up and do it every day.
Yeah, some tactical advice there is I would find the 1,000 worst properties in your area. Seriously. And I'd be obsessed with them. I'd door knock them. I'd call them. I'd write them handwritten notes. I would text them. I would try to find them on Facebook Messenger, whatever it is. I would try to get a hold of those property owners, and I would really pay attention to vacant lots in the area. Not that there's many, maybe not, but in maybe the outskirts, go for those and find those and get real obsessed with them, because like Jamil was saying, yeah, there might be a lot of people going after these deals, but that means there's a lot of buyers for them.
100%.
Which means that they're going to pay a bunch for them. So the average deal size in Seattle is bananas. So, I mean, you could do 5 deals and make $250,000.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Which means you have to talk to 1,000 people there. You know, so focus on, and I literally talk to 200 people to get a deal. That's what it is. It's just timing at that point. Once you plant the seed and build that relationship, pre-qualify them, and do your lead follow-up, you're going to get those all the way down to where they're ready to make a decision, and you're going to at least get a shot at it. But you don't have to do a tremendous amount of deals to make a great amount there. And replace your income if you're working somewhere else. But if you're doing it full-time, I mean, really just you could get to 400, 500K with 10, 15 deals.
100%.
You know, So, the grass is always greener. I see a lot of people going into smaller markets, locking up a bunch of deals, having to cancel them because they don't really understand the price point and or the cash buyers in that area.
Correct.
And it takes them 6 months to get their first deal when they could have stayed in their backyard and got it done in 90 days.
You guys mind if I answer this question?
Not at all.
All right, so this one is a great one. Al Edmondson. This is a creative finance question, but I'm going to spend a couple of minutes on this one because this is interesting. And it's very pertinent to the fact that I'm on the screen with the man who sold me the deal. So this little house on Pueblo, right here, I believe it is. Oh my gosh, this is nasty. All right, let me do a little screen share. Sorry, guys. I'm sharing the screen. Okay, so this property I bought on subject to. Okay. And I bought this property from Mr. Brent Daniels himself. I paid him an assignment fee.
Yep.
He gave me the lead. I went and closed the deal. And the seller, listen to me, Al Edmondson, listen to this. The seller was already dead when I bought the house subject to. Listen to that one more time. The seller was already dead when I bought the house subject to. So how did I do that? I did it by taking the property through probate. I hired Riley Dana, who's actually been a guest on this show. Go and watch Wholesale Hotline and type in Wholesale Hotline Riley Dana. Phenomenal guest, amazing guy. I went to Riley Dana. He's a probate attorney. I took the property through probate, even though the seller had already passed away and the house was in foreclosure. It was a bloody mess. It's just how this business goes sometimes. I then paid the heirs, or the people that were inheriting the property, $500 to let me take over the payments of this house. Okay. $500. I take over the payments of this house from somebody who's passed away. So what do I continue to do? I continue to pay payments to the mortgage, just like the seller who has deceased would have if they were alive. I just keep making the payments. Now, what's interesting about this deal is not only did I, gosh dang it, sorry. Not only did I buy it subject to, but I then went and sold it on seller finance. Okay, so here's the numbers on this just real quick, if you guys don't mind. I ended up buying this deal. Let's do solo layout just for a second.
Yep.
I bought this deal from Brent. I was all into it, like $65,000. Okay. And this is taking over a property subject to. So I didn't have to go get a loan. I just took over an existing loan. I then wrapped it with $120,000 of my own fake equity. That's what we call wraps. I created my own fake equity at 8% interest. And I sold this to a buyer. So not only did I buy the house from somebody who has passed away and I make the payments to their bank, this guy right here makes payments to me for a $185,000 purchase at 8% interest because I sold it to him on seller finance. So this is very complex. A lot of people are like, what in the hell are you talking about? This is what I talk about on Sunday Service, my creative finance podcast. But guys, if you buy a house from somebody who has passed away, they're deceased, the payments just continue to get paid the same way. Now, let's say that there is no bank, right? In that situation, the seller has a sub 2, right? They have a loan with Wells Fargo, and I just continue to make that payment. What happens if I buy a house from a seller who's like 81 years old? Actually, Jamil met one of my sellers, Jillian, in Atlanta. She's like nearing 80 years old. She's an older lady. I'm making a $3,899 payment to her every single month on seller finance. That payment actually goes to her because the house was completely paid off. I just paid it. I could pull up my bank statement today. I paid it today, $3,899. That house brings in $21,000 to $22,000 a month on average in Airbnb, and I make a shit ton of money from that. Jamil, if Jillian passes away, where do you think that those payments would go in a seller finance situation, knowing Jillian, if you remember her story at all?
Where would they be going? Well, they'd be going to her husband.
Right. And what if her husband passes away?
Then they're going to come to me.
Well, you would, she loved you so much, you probably would be written in her will. But guys, she has a son.
Yeah.
Okay? She has a son that she adores. And so her son would start collecting those payments. And in the agreement, when Jillian passes away, my promissory note states that upon the death of Jillian, the payment will then start being made to her son, the heir of her estate. Okay. I know that took me 4 minutes to answer that question, but hopefully that gives you the information on both subject to and on seller finance, what happens to the payments when somebody passes away.
The best part of that story, Pace, is you talking to the daughter and she's all, not really sure what's going on. And you're like, well, can I go in and see the property today? And she's like, I don't know. We got to find the key or whatever. Without missing a beat, Pace goes, I'll just break a window. It's no problem.
And I did.
Yeah.
It was Friday. It was a Friday. Brent has all his Brent opens his office on Fridays to his students.
That's right.
And one Friday, Brent calls me up and he goes, hey, you want to come hang out with my students? I was like, absolutely. So I go over there. Brent's acquisition guy, Eric, had a lead. It was a foreclosure. And his acquisition manager goes, hey, Pace, there's no equity on this deal. Do you want to buy this as a sub 2? I go, yeah, let me call the seller right now. So I jump on the phone with the seller. The seller's like, I don't think we have access to the property. I go, that's never stopped me before. I'll just break a window. Don't worry, I'll pay for it. I wasn't going to, the reason why I said that is because I had TTP students with me and I was like, I want to take you guys out to the house and I want to show you guys how to sign a sub 2 contract in person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I drove them out to the property. I drove in my Prius and I signed the contract on the back of the Prius that night in the moonlight. In that street that I just showed you guys.
In the moonlight, he said?
In the moonlight. It was a little bit late by the time we got
romantic.
Everything. Yeah. But we did break the window. I did buy the house. We did fix the window, but we did buy the house and I bought it for $500. I bought the house for $500 from the seller, took over existing payments. I sold it for $120,000 more than what I originally thought. Ooh, this is a good one. Ingrid, she is a sub 2 student and a mastermind student of mine. She says, I'm closing a deal tomorrow with someone who squatted up with me from Wholesale Hotline. Her first wholesale deal, not a huge payout, but the property was only $25,000. Still excited for her. Do you guys mind if I call Ingrid just real quick?
Call her.
I'm going to call Ingrid and I want to give some advice to the people who are doing, want to do deals in the side comments. I want to give some advice to the people.
Hi.
Hi.
I'm how can I help?
What do you mean, how can I help? You're on Wholesale Hotline. Tell everybody hi.
Hi, everyone.
What's your name?
Ingrid Hernandez. I am an agent in Arizona and a proud sub 2 student.
Ingrid, what was the point where you had a turning point in your business? Don't give me the answer you think I want to hear. I know the answer, by the way.
Well, my biggest turning point is when I started being consistent.
There you go. There you go. That's exactly the answer I want. I know you joined as a sub 2 student. I know you loved being a student, but it wasn't until you got over your analysis paralysis, which our community helped you with, obviously, that all of a sudden you started popping deals.
Yep.
Like, look at you right now. I don't know how many deals you have in the pipeline, but it's been probably the last 2 or 3 months. You've got a tremendous amount of action and your paradigm has completely changed of like, wow, this is not only possible, like what the hell was I waiting for? Is that not your thought process right now?
Absolutely. And I would also say, listening to people say, stop waiting for things to be perfect to take action. Like, I'm literally writing a deal right now, trying to do the Morby method on a property in Phoenix and helping a seller stay in his house for 2 more years.
You're freaking amazing. So the main reason I called you is because you made a comment that you did a deal with somebody in the Wholesale Hotline side comments.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Her name is Sonda.
Okay.
She's
Sonda.
actually an agent in Arizona as well.
Okay. So all these people, we've got 500 people plus are watching Wholesale Hotline right now. What do you think that the majority of people in Wholesale Hotline comments are not doing that they should be doing in order to get deals done like this?
Go find someone who's going to help you get away from your paralysis analysis.
And how do I do that? Do I make comments in the side chat and have people reach out to me? Like, how does Sonda reach out to you?
She came into my DMs on Instagram. It's exactly what we all should be doing. I continue to say, follow me on Instagram, message me in my DMs, and I will definitely answer.
Amazing. Have I told you I appreciate you lately?
Yes, you're always being very valuable with your comments, and I appreciate you too, Pace.
You're awesome. You're a very important part of our community. I appreciate you tremendously. My wife says you're crushing it on her referrals that she's sending over to you as well for agent stuff. So thank you for taking that off her plate.
Thank you. What little help I can provide her, I would love to do that.
You're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. So go ahead. You go ahead, brother.
I was going to say, I listening to what Ingrid has to say, and then also seeing a lot of the comments that I've been reading in the side chat right now, mindset is still the number one hurdle that, we can talk about assignments. We can talk about double closes. We can talk about private lenders. We can talk about subject to, we can talk about wholesale fees. We can talk about appreciating markets. We can talk about competitiveness,
mastermind, syndication,
all of the things,
triple digit flips.
Right. But what's really happening, the difference, the line between success and failure is what's happening in your head. Yeah. And we, as people that are, the thought leaders in this industry, how are we charged with helping that situation? Because personally, I know for me that it wasn't until I changed the way I thought and felt that my life started to change.
Yep.
And you're a very optimistic, positive person. And Pace, again, the mind that Pace has is just, almost robotic and perfect. Like he's so, like, Pace is like an assassin the way he thinks. And that is evident in the way that he lives. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts in the side chat. Would a mindset mastermind, something that where we could get community members together to help facilitate new ways of thinking and new ideas, would that be something that people would find valuable? I'd just like to hear the opinions out there.
Bro, my personal opinion, I thought about this morning, and I was thinking, why isn't there a mastermind, like a mindset mastermind, to help people overcome that? It's literally the most glossed over topic in any business whatsoever. It doesn't even have to, it could be orthodontics. It could be whatever, hairstylists. People are afraid of getting out of their own way or don't even know that they are in their own ways. And the mindset stuff is crazy. I mean, just going back to the 9-to-5 mentality, people don't know that they've been trained to be locked into being told what to do. And so the reason why they have this analysis paralysis is not because they're weak. It's because society has trained them to be a worker bee. And so you have to untrain yourself and be aware of what's going on there. And you have to rebuild yourself back up. And that requires tremendous mindset work. And that's something that I would say Jamil, out of everybody I've met, I would say Jamil is the number one person. One of my heroes, Robert G. Allen, I know Brent Daniels loves Robert G. Allen as well. A lot of the OG books were written by Robert G. Allen. He meets Jamil and I in what was that, Jamil? Key West.
Key West, yep.
And he's on stage, and this is what he says. He says, in 29 years, I've taught real estate. And what I realized is that after 29 years, every single person that does fails not because of technique, not because of resources, not because of their birthright, not because of the color of their skin, but 100% of people that fail at anything, it all comes down to mindset. And if he could have gone back 29 years ago and made a larger impact, he said the only way he could have done that is he would have changed his education to mindset, not real estate technique.
Fantastic. Well, I think a lot of people need permission.
Yes.
We're kind of like raised needing permission for stuff.
Right.
Go here during these times, spend this amount of time doing these things that we want you to do, whether it be school, whether it be a job, whether it be anything. You know what I mean? So to break out of that and be like, wait a second, I've got 24 hours every single day, and this is the only day that I'm guaranteed because I woke up today. And what am I going to do with this time that I have here? Well, somebody's got to tell me what to do, because I can't just do it whatever I want. I can't have control over my time, but you can. You get permission. I'll give you permission right now. You have permission to go out there and make a dramatic impact into the real estate community by finding ugly houses and helping people get rid of those ugly houses and give them to people that want to make those ugly houses beautiful houses. Keep it very simple, right? That's how you start. And there was a great comment earlier on this about, I'm just starting in wholesaling. Am I in the right place? Absolutely. Absolutely. This is where you find people in your area. This is where you squat up. We started day one, episode 1, 102 episodes ago. We started with a philosophy of squatting up. You need to surround yourself with people that give themselves permission to go out and provide value to their to the marketplace, to their communities, to their.
You guys see who's in the side chat on the screen?
I know. There he is,
Mr.
Squat.
Jerry Norton, dude.
Yeah.
So Jerry just released a YouTube collab with him and I today. It is 3 things that every wholesaler needs to do in 2022. And I put the YouTube link in the side chat. It just came out today. Go check that out, guys. I think Jamil, you have a collab
after
coming
the
with
show.
Jerry Norton. Oh yeah, go after the show. Just save the link, guys. Save the link. Jamil, you have a collab coming out with Jerry as well, right?
We've done a few. Yeah, I don't know what we've got.
You just did one in Utah.
Right now. Pardon me?
You just did one in Utah with him,
We did
right?
one in Utah. Yeah, it was great.
Did it get released yet?
Has not been released yet.
Okay, well, you got an upcoming deal there. Guys, Jerry Norton's going to be being a guest as an upcoming guest pretty soon. So please make sure you guys stay tuned for, I don't know if it's next week or the week after. Jerry does say Jamil is coming soon.
Awesome.
So you guys were talking about, is this the right place to learn? One thing that's interesting about Wholesale Hotline is, if you guys remember last year, we actually started from scratch as of like, what is wholesale? What is a wholesale contract? So guys, stay involved in Wholesale Hotline. Go back to previous episodes and you scroll through the previous episodes. You'll see topic by topic by topic by topic, exactly what you need to understand in this business. So if you feel like you're missing some data, just go watch another Wholesale Hotline. Go back to what Brent said at the very beginning. Fill your mind with podcasts every waking minute that you're not doing something else. Or even when you're driving somewhere, you're at the grocery store, put your AirPods in and listen to Wholesale Hotline for a couple of months. You will get the hang of it.
Yep.
I heard we were giving away $300 to somebody who watches Wholesale Hotline for leaving us a review
on the podcast. Yeah.
Did you hear about that, Pace?
No, I didn't know that.
Well, listen to this. Over 10,000 listens, downloads last week. I'm telling you, that podcast is the place to be. And if I'm folding laundry, if I'm doing dishes, if I am cleaning up dog poop, which, is random.
What about making love?
Well, no, not during that. That's way too intense and loud.
I'm just taking an inventory of the things Brent does at his house. So far, it's laundry, dishes, and shit.
Well, picking it up. Yeah, I'm not too happy about that. But anyway, if I always have my AirPods in.
Yeah.
Always. And then if I'm driving, forget about it. It instantly connects and we're going. I mean, it's just, I don't know. It just keeps me in a great place. And you were saying you get one song that you listen to on, that was like your ex-girlfriend's song from like 1997 or whatever, or some of these people 2007, and you're like in a different headspace, and then all of a sudden you got to get out and go talk to a seller or something.
Yeah, you're all depressed and
you're all like sad, or you're pumped. I don't know, but it matters. It matters. It really does.
Keep those questions coming in the side chat. Pace, what's next?
I do have a question for both of you guys.
Yep.
Is there any way to learn something new, whether it's wholesale, it's creative finance, it's whatever it is? Is there any way to not be overwhelmed in the beginning and feel like you're drinking from the fire hose?
Is there any way not to feel that way?
Yeah.
100% there is.
You think so?
Yeah. The reason why people are feeling overwhelmed and like they're drinking from the fire hose is because they're racing against themselves. Okay, because they've created this idea that they're behind.
Okay, I like that answer.
That because Pace Morby has a television show and he's the master of subject 2 and has all these 300 doors that they're behind. No.
What's the comparison quote?
Comparison is the thief of joy, and that's what's going to make you feel like crap all the time. I promise you.
And it's not exclusive to just other people you're comparing yourself to. It is who you think you should already be.
Right. But you are exactly where you're supposed to be. You are always exactly where you're supposed to be at this given point in time. Meaning, it is now your opportunity to learn the thing that's in front of you. Learn the thing that's in front of you with your full presence, with your full mind, with your full heart, and enjoy that. Stop hating the fact that you don't already know it.
And stack the small wins. Driving around and finding ugly houses is a win. Getting out of your car and knocking on that door is a win. Getting the phone number for that owner is a win. Calling them up is a win. That answering is a win. Having a conversation is a win. It's not just, oh, I got $1 million and I can't celebrate until there. No, stack the small wins, build the confidence and hunger, brother. I mean,
that's it.
What else?
You know, what's interesting is I love what you guys just said there. Elon Musk's ex-wife has one of my favorite quotes. She wrote this entire article about what made Elon who Elon was from her observation.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really interesting article. My wife sent it to me and she was just like, this is what I think it takes to become a billionaire, is this type of personality. And It was a really interesting read. But the quote she said was this: it's not who you are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you start comparing yourself, that is the only thing that's ever going to hold you back. It's not who you actually are that holds you back. It's who you think you're not. Like, oh, I'm not that guy. I'm not Brent. I'm not Jamil. I'm not Pace. I'm not Jerry Norton. I'm not these guys. That's the only thing that will hold you back. So Jamil and Brent are hitting this so hard, like stacking your small wins, teeny tiny little things, jumping your car, looking at properties. You know how refreshing it is? Like if I'm with my wife and kids, just going and driving around neighborhoods and looking at houses with my wife and kids and just taking it down to the simplest basic level in this business of like, that house needs somebody to call them. That house needs somebody to call them. Guys, this business is so freaking simple, but we have the tendency of overcomplicating it. And anyway.
I love this question from Rosalia here. Let's put this up. Where do you see it?
Let me find it. I'm way up here. Sorry, brother.
Yeah. So I love Rosalia's question here. It says the mindset work has been super powerful for her, but is it possible to overcome the paralysis that she gets from being an introvert? It's hard to take action. Rosalia, what I'm going to say.
Real quick, what's an introvert?
An introvert is a person who isn't very social. They don't really like to get engaged.
Labels them that?
Who labels a person an introvert? Yeah. Well, themselves, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So she's labeling herself an introvert. I actually know Rosalia, and she's right. She's an introvert.
Okay.
Here's the thing, right? You might be taking action on the wrong things. You see, there's activities that as an introvert, you're going to highly enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes those are going to be activities that are more back-end work, you know, things like data management, things like creating systems, creating processes, doing follow-up. My business partner, Hunter Runyon, is the epitome of an introvert. He and I did 50 deals together before we ever spoke on the phone. And he would only communicate to me via text message.
Yep.
So I'm saying again that even as an introvert, you have to love yourself enough to give yourself permission to do business the way that's comfortable to you, to do it in activities that are working and worthwhile and enjoyable to you. And if that means, Rosalia, that it's not for you to get on the phone and actually have talky conversations to people, figure out some really eloquent copy that you can write on your text messages and start communicating to people that way.
Or be the business partner of somebody that is the talky.
Yep.
Yeah.
Backbone of the process. And then as you grow, I see this all the time. And this is something that I've really opened my eyes to over the last year or so. Because, you know, with me in partnerships, I'm like, you know what, there should be one person that runs the thing and everybody else could be hired. Right. But if you are taking this as a long approach and you go, hey, listen, I'm gonna do the heavy lifting up front, and I'm gonna build this thing up, and I'm gonna build up some capital by going out and talking to a lot of people. You build the systems in place. Make sure I don't get too crazy over my skis with expenses and personality and ego.
Right.
And we'll take this money and you go invest it so that we have long-term wealth building. So in the next 5-10 years, we've got enough cash flow coming in and enough, momentum with the appreciation and depreciation of these properties that we're set.
Right.
How about that? How about not labeling yourself as an introvert or an extrovert or whatever else? Just find your superpower, what you're great at, and play to those strengths.
100%.
I like that.
Yeah.
Brent, I think this is a really good one for you.
I love this question. Derek, yes. Do you need a house to be for sale before stopping and asking questions? Do you just pick up any random crappy looking place and see if they're interested? Yes, brother. And listen, and it's not either or, it's and. Both of them. If it's listed for sale, find out. Call them up. Talk to the agent. Build a relationship there, right?
Of course.
If an agent has a really crappy house listed, there's a likelihood they'll have more other crappy houses that they list, right? I mean, maybe they work in the area, maybe they work in, that's their specialty, whatever it is. So build that relationship. Second, yeah, you can go to any property. What we do is we find properties, the 6 to 10% that are in distress. They have motivation to sell this property as smoothly and as easily as possible, which typically comes down to a cash as is offer. We're talking wholesale here. Cash as is offer. So there you go. So you got your cash as is offer with somebody that is in distress. One of the big indicators of distress is the physical condition of the property. So find ugly properties. You know that they're in distress. They probably don't have a budget to go in and put enough money into that property to fix it up. So be the middleman or be it yourself. Flip it yourself. Put together a packet of things and go find the money, split the deal, and build and build and build and build.
I think Jamil and I maybe differ on this opinion a little bit, and I'd like to hear Jamil's opinion on this. But if somebody sends me an on-market property, something that's already for sale, I immediately repel that, like, somebody with one tooth. Like, there must be something wrong with you. So Derek, you need to understand that most of us in the real estate investment world, if there's a house on the market, we absolutely don't want to buy that deal. Now, here's where the caveat changes for me. If the property has been for sale for a long time and they're struggling to sell it, I then am interested in a conversation. But if it's probably the first 4 months of the listing, don't send that shit to me.
Right.
I want to have nothing
unless
to
it's
do
locked
with
up way lower.
Unless the agent made a mistake.
Yep.
Right. But in that situation, no agent's going to tell you, hey, I made a mistake. Do you want to buy this deal? You've got to be a really good deal finder in that world. So I think Jamil might have a little bit more light to shine on that topic. But for me, my natural tendency, my natural gut reaction is don't send me shit that's on market.
I do disagree with you in that. And it's only because I have made so much money from properties that have been listed on the MLS, either brand new, fresh listings that are really good deals and they're, there's a lot of action on there, but I have a relationship with the listing agent and I was able to lock it up and wholesale it over what it's listed on at the listed for on the MLS. Also, I've made a ton of money on deals that have just been sitting on the MLS overpriced. And after a significant amount of time has passed, having an honest conversation with the agent about them having an honest conversation with their seller. And then locking that deal up significantly below MLS list price and being able to knock it out of the park. I just did a deal that was listed on the MLS for 40 days and I made a $75,000 assignment fee on it. $75,000 for an on-market property listed 40 days.
Well, Ryan Zolan, who I do the Millionaire Before 30 show on Thursday mornings, 10 a.m. on the Brent Daniels YouTube channel. That's how he gets all his deals.
Yes.
I mean, most of his deals come off of the MLS.
Okay. So let's be clear here though, guys.
Yeah.
Let's be really clear here. We're not talking about sellers who are trying to sell to a homeowner, right? That have a fully renovated house.
No.
Not fully renovated houses. No.
Okay, let's be clear here because I get a lot of shit sent to me.
Or hopefully really rough.
Okay.
The uglier, the better.
Let's make sure that's clear here, because if I get so many people that go, hey, I see this house on my street. They just put it up for sale. Do you want to look at it? No, I don't want to look at it. It's fully renovated. It's even furnished. They staged it. I want to have nothing to do with that property.
It's on Airbnb right now.
It's funny because when I'm on Straight Outta Compin', you know, of course I'm just running and doing comps, and I always tell a story of a property right when I pull it up, right when I pull up a property, and I can say, okay, let's look at the number of days on market. Let's look at the price. Okay, let's look at the number of times it's been viewed. We can determine a story of what's happening here within 5 seconds. That even tells me if I should spend more time comping. Then the next thing I'll do is I'll look at the pictures. And now, like Pace just described, we've got a brand new kitchen. We've got luxury laminate flooring in here. What the hell am I doing comping this house?
Right.
Start getting intuitive. Start understanding what we're doing. And that'll save you a lot of time.
I think if you're brand new to the business, one of the best things you could do if you're having analysis paralysis is learn how to comp, right? And learn how to tell the story. Like if you're like, I'm not ready for a mentorship, I'm not ready for even a wide variety of topics on YouTube. I just need to know how to look at a property and comp it. Go to Straight Outta Compin'. Jamil, when do you do that show?
I do that every Sunday at 5 p.m. Arizona time. We had around 300 people on the show yesterday. Awesome. It's growing. Awesome. A lot of properties. Emily and I stayed there extra time, and we'll continue to lengthen the time of the show, guys. If you guys are getting a lot of value from it and the show continues to grow, maybe it turns into a 2-hour show.
Love it. Jamil, here's a good one for you, brother.
What's the name?
Yeah.
Aberrant Art.
Aberrant Art said, question: how would you comp single-family zoned residential land? It already has sewer, water, electricity. Actually had 3 houses that need to be torn down. So this is a great question. So typically, Aberrant Art, how I would comp land is by looking at what is the new construction price threshold in and around that vacant piece of property. Okay. So let's just say, for instance, if the new houses by my piece are selling for $400,000, I know that I need to buy my land for approximately 20 to 25% of my new construction value. Here's where it's going to get a little different for you in that piece. You just mentioned that there's 3 structures that need to be torn down. So you do not have residential land. You've got residential land plus demo, okay? And those 3 structures are going to cost roughly $20,000 each to demolish and dispose of. So you've got an additional $60,000-ish in costs before that becomes vacant land. So just when you're doing this calculation, make sure you're taking that into consideration.
Yep.
Brent Daniels, do you know the answer to this one?
You better, Don't waste your time. For real. Don't waste your time. Because by the time that they are ready to sell it, there are going to be overlays. There's going to be a process for the way that they have to sell those properties. And so if they're going to sell land, it's a big oversight, a big process, and usually they put it on the market. So I would not waste your time. Trust me, I've tried. Because there's a lot of land. You guys know that in Phoenix and South Phoenix, everything's kind of swelling up. There's a lot of land owned by the state of Arizona or city of Phoenix.
Yeah. Yep.
And
there was a question about new construction there, and I wanted to get your answer. Actually, are you involved in any new development, or Pace? Are you involved in any new developments?
Yeah, I have a really big development going on right now. 75 acres in Kansas City.
Nice.
And how involved are you in that project?
0.
How did you put it together?
By being a brilliant man.
You connected the dots.
You know what I did is I went on a private jet with my friends to Utah, and I met 2 people in the same room that hadn't met each other yet. And I connected 2 people together in the same room, and I wedged myself into a 20% equity play into the deal. By one guy had the money, the other guy had the land.
Amazing.
I'll make $1 million in 3 years on doing nothing other than that.
The power of people, connections.
I am the bank on those deals. Yeah, I lend the money for new construction.
So if you guys have an incredible deal that Brent could possibly lend on, I'm not saying that he will, but if there's an opportunity, he'll underwrite it and make a decision. I'm currently learning about new construction. There's a little firecracker that we have here in town. Her name is Shayna Farnsworth. Are you familiar with her?
No.
She only does new construction in South Phoenix. Because she grew up in South Phoenix, and she grew up in a life where she didn't have access to adequate housing.
Sure.
She has 4 kids, okay, and she started having them young.
Yeah.
And so she's always kind of struggled financially until she got an understanding of how to do this new construction game.
Awesome.
Now she's crushing it. This girl's doing anywhere between 7 to 10 new construction builds a year, and she's wanting to expand
How'd she
that.
get her money?
Private lenders.
How'd she get that?
Talking to people.
What?
Yeah.
If you just talk to people,
just talking to people. And this was a person who's all she did was pitch the lenders. I know the neighborhood. I know the demographic. I don't know anything about construction, but I get access to this pretty good and cheap land because everybody knows me in this little section of Phoenix.
Yeah.
So people took a gamble on her, and all of her deals have been going well. Well, I've become her partner now. And I'm going to be learning the process of how she's doing these new construction builds in South Phoenix.
Yeah.
And hopefully our goal is to be putting out, at least 20 new affordable houses in the Phoenix market in the next year. And for me, that means a lot because I came from a situation where we needed affordable housing growing up.
Sure.
And if I can be a part of that, that's just, for me, even though I'll make some money, I'm going to learn the process from Shayna on how to do this. And then I'm also going to be able to do something that's good for the community, which is great.
Right. Guys,
Brent, I think this is a good one for you, brother.
Yeah. Give me one. Let me just put this because the comments are speaking to me here. Guys, I'm telling you, you find opportunity and you go with optimism and enthusiasm and energy and you throw that behind a really good opportunity. People with money will work with you. People with money will work with you. I don't care if you have no experience. Don't fake it until you make it with it and tell them that you got all this experience and you know all this. I've got an opportunity. This is what I want to do. And I'm really passionate about it. People will give you the money for it. I am telling you.
It's real.
It's real.
Do you guys know who Kevin Costner is?
All over the country, started with nothing, literally nothing. Multi-millionaires because they just kept rolling it in and kept finding opportunities by picking up the phone and calling mobile home parks, calling really rough apartment complex, calling vacant land and developing it, building self-storage. All this stuff all starts with you just being brave enough to pick up the phone and call somebody and find opportunities and then bring it to somebody.
Yep.
Wholesaling is fantastic because wholesaling brings income in. Wholesaling has dramatically changed my life forever. I mean, got out of a ton of debt that I put myself in and changed it forever through getting that income coming in. It was real. And then it's off to the races from there. You don't always have to sell those deals.
Right.
You can be a part of those deals once you start building that network of people up that want to do ground up construction, want to develop, want to fix and flip, want to change communities because it's something that pulls on your experience.
Right.
It's phenomenal. Russian Eskimo says, so during the wholesaling process, once we get the contract, how do we get the cash buyer to inspect the property, like an inspection contingency and a lockbox for on-market property? Sure. I mean, it just depends. So first of all, fantastic. Is that a picture of him? I feel like that's Trump. Is that Trump?
That's Trump.
Okay. I was like, that's a fancy picture, Russian Eskimo. Yeah, once you put that deal in front of your cash buyers, believe it or not, the really, really, really experienced ones already know it. They already know the prices. They don't even need to see it.
Right.
Sight unseen, don't even need to see it. In your inspection period is your time to market that property and find somebody that wants to pay you for the right to purchase that property.
And if I could just add to that,
Yep.
when you are in the process of locking up your contract, you have an opportunity to visit the property and get pictures. Take good pictures. Guys, if you don't know what pictures you should be taking for a wholesale deal text, a deal text will be that little piece of marketing that you're going to send out to your buyers, your cash buyers, to entice them into looking at a potential deal. You need to have a strategic and planned out set of photographs that you take that your investors can know exactly the condition of this property without having to visit the property. This will allow you to sell houses sight unseen and rapidly. If you do not have that picture shot list, send me a DM on Instagram and I will reply with the shot list at JDAMJI, at JDAMJI. I will send you a picture shot list and you can use that as your template for going out and getting pictures for your deals.
2 questions I want to answer back to back real quick. And I think you guys will piggyback on the second question I answer. Baron Art says, Pace, I used your tip on calling a developer to get a number for land value. They asked the owner's name, address, and APN number. Is that normal? Yeah. So I just did this the other day, actually live. I had somebody come to me and they go, hey, I've got a 5-plex and I'm not I can't sell it and blah, blah, blah. I go, bro, watch me find a buyer for this right now. And I went on LoopNet. I got a hold of a broker. Broker's like, oh my gosh, yeah, this is so great. I'll start saying, come into my office. Let's do more deals together. I want to be friends with you. If they're asking you for the owner's name, address, and APN, it's going to be one of 2 things. One, you didn't start the conversation with confidence or honesty by saying, hey, I've got a deal I'm looking at. I really want to understand how you would value this land. Can you please help me out? Well, first off, they're going to find out the owner's name. How are they going to give you the value of the land without the address and the APN?
Yep.
And also, if they have the address and the APN, how are they not going to have the owner's name? The question is, how is it not normal? It is 1000% normal. Great question. Your buyer's not trying to go around you. I'm going to tell you something right now. The only people that will ever go around you on a deal are wholesalers. And 99.9% of actual cash buyers are not wholesalers. So stop with this small mindset of everybody's going to go around me. People in Facebook groups go around you. Okay. When you go to a Facebook group, those are not cash buyers. Those are wholesalers. So if you're worried about people going around you, then go directly to county records and find people that are actually buying properties. I did this a couple of weeks ago. I showed you guys, name my LLC in Arizona, name Keegley's LLC, name Brent's LLC. You're going to see that we own property. So if you're reaching out to somebody that doesn't actually own property, chances are they're probably a wholesaler, which is fine. Wholesalers, I sell deals to wholesalers who wholesale deals to end buyers. That's perfectly fine. But if you're just trying to get value from an actual buyer, make sure they actually own the property. So great question here. Jose Harvin, actually, I feel like we answer this every single Monday. And I feel like we answered this at the very beginning of this podcast for a very long amount of time regarding mindset, how the majority of people have analysis paralysis. So Jose says, no one answers this. Why is the failure rate so high in this industry? Here's first and foremost, most people fail at any industry. It doesn't have to be wholesale, real estate, anything. The reason being is the same thing. Mindset. Lack of resourcefulness. I didn't say lack of resources, lack of resourcefulness. Here's the funny thing is if Brent, me, Jamil, or somebody else that doesn't have analysis paralysis jumped into a random market, meaning Arkansas, North Dakota, whatever, put me in any town, put me in a ghost town.
Yep.
And I will start talking to people, TTPing immediately, and I will get a deal done in one day. The only reason people fail is because they don't take action. There's the answer. You can tattoo that on your skin. You can make a shirt out of it. People fail because they don't take action, nothing else. Now, there's another conversation on the other side of that coin, which is the reason people get stuck is because they have a lack of resources or resourcefulness as well. It's the same type of thing. You need to start elevating and upgrading yourself along the way, but it always, always, always starts with mindset. Jamil and Brent, do you have a different belief in this? No one answers this. Why is the failure rate so high?
Well, we know it's most people aren't blessed with a big family or a big squad that is already doing incredible real estate deals. You just don't walk into that. So you have to build that. You have to be surrounded by the people doing it. And my word of the year, focus on ugly houses and getting big checks. That's it. That's how you start. That's how you start in this business. Focus on ugly houses, big checks, and you win. You know, whether somebody's bringing you that deal or you source it yourself, ugly houses, big checks, focus, and be around people that are doing this business, and you win. And you want to really be around the big hitters? Bring them ugly houses.
Yep.
So they can get big checks.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Art says it's the knowledge, though. It's the knowledge, guys. It's the knowledge.
I am the dumbest guy here, without a doubt. I mean, I can't even spell business right most of the time, but not let alone entrepreneur. It is not about the knowledge.
I have to stop and think about that.
It is not about the knowledge. It is about the experience. It's about the courage. It's about the confidence, and it's about the hunger. Those are the things. Those are the things that'll get you fired up. Those are the things.
My first deal, I didn't even know what an assignment fee was. Jamil walked me through the deal.
The thing too, Pace, is that the knowledge is everywhere. It's everywhere. It's given away. Yeah. When people pay for mentorships, they're only paying to speed up the process.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
They're paying so that somebody can help them through the nitty-gritty once they get in the weeds. But the knowledge is everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, you go look at Pace's YouTube channel. He's got, you know, hundreds of videos. You look at Brent's YouTube channel, there's hundreds of videos. You look at mine, there's a few. Right? We're all putting out content, delivering exactly how to do this business step by step, week after week, day after day. We're on this podcast every week, answering questions, showing you the techniques, and giving away the knowledge. But what's inside you is what's going to help it actually happen.
That's it.
Here's a good one right here. I am Marquita. I'm so sorry if I'm answering this wrong. Do you guys recommend getting the county list for water shutoff properties, list people who receive citations, et cetera? Yes, but it's going to be a smaller list. Here's what I would start with. People that I absolutely know who are in pain, because our job is to solve people's pain. The people I know that are in pain are the foreclosure list. We showed you guys how to pull that list about 4, maybe 5 months ago with Michelle from batchleads.io. She came in, code squad up, by the way, for anybody that wants to sign up. She came in and showed you exactly how to get the foreclosure data and expired listings. Start there. Don't try and reinvent the wheel. You're going and watching somebody else's YouTube video that's telling you about all these niche lists. Guys, foreclosures are the greatest lead source of all time. These people have a timetable that they have to appease. They're going to get kicked out of their property. This isn't something like, hey, my house is my overgrown weeds. Those things are obvious signs of distress. But the one that is 100% guaranteed is foreclosure. Go to the foreclosure list. Stop wasting if you're brand new and you're starting to generate leads right now, focus on foreclosures. Focus on foreclosures. Stop trying to go any other list unless you've gotten some deals and some momentum. Foreclosures, foreclosures, foreclosures.
Good job, Exis Times. I've been having a conversation with this gentleman in my Instagram, and guys, deals are happening.
Yep.
You can message any of us with an opportunity, and we will help figure out how to connect the dots. I connected him with the Ellsworth family, who are out in Idaho doing all kinds of deals. In fact, Greg Ellsworth, who Pace you are partners with, just closed a deal with an Astro student and got a $10,000 check.
Wait, when was this?
Just last week.
Awesome.
I did?
Your partner, Greg Ellsworth.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. He's my old partner, but yeah.
Your old partner, but they're out in Idaho doing all kinds of deals.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they basically, our partnership, we had an operating agreement that stated we were going to buy 50 properties together with Creative Finance. We did that, and then once we accomplished that, Greg's like, I'm out. I'm going to Idaho. Idaho's popping. And they went into like rural Idaho and they have too many deals. That's the problem in rural Idaho. Too many deals.
Yep.
Which is great. Ooh, this one's a good one, Jamil. This one kind of reminds me of your first deal that you ever did.
Yeah. So JC Wholesale asked the question, do I need to show the end buyer and or his attorney my contract between me and the original seller? So JC, I'm going to fill in the blanks because I think that there's a little bit more needed in your question here. What I think JC is asking is, if I assign my deal to an end buyer, am I required to show my end buyer my original contract? And in an assignment, yes, you are. that buyer is entitled to know what terms and conditions they're being assigned.
Right.
Now, JC, if you sell your property not by assignment, but by another contract, a B2C contract, essentially a double escrow, if that's the way that you're going to do the deal, then you do not need to show your end buyer or their attorney the contract between you and a seller. That's why the double escrow is used when people have a huge spread between the price they're buying a deal for and the price they're selling a deal for. Also, sometimes that's used if, for instance, a seller might have a negative opinion about you selling the deal off. People will sometimes use the double close just to keep everybody happy and you know, not stir the pot. But what I'll also tell you, JC Wholesale, is that process will cost more money. So if you are doing an assignment, you have to share that contract with the person you're assigning the deal to. And if you have worries about doing that, then you can possibly do a double close and avert that situation entirely.
Love it. Real quick, Pace, great question. I just got to ring this. You know what I'm saying?
Ring this. Santiago Luna.
Santiago!
Great job, Santiago. Great start buying his first flip March 2022. 50K, 35K, 25. Incredible. What was that question before there, Pace?
It's too far up there. I went way up there to get it.
Okay.
The Novice Wanderer says, how do I get a deal? I have $110,000 in the bank, 32 years old, and want to be a millionaire by 36. This is an interesting one because a lot of people don't have any money and go get into this business and crush it. And so my advice for most people, if you do want to be a deal finder, you want to be somebody that's going out and finding distressed properties, getting them under contract and wholesaling them, you don't need much money, like maybe $1,000, right? Or $0 really. Maybe just download a driving for deals app and you drive around and you drive for deals. That's pretty simple. Another thing you could do is you could source deals from wholesalers and sell them to cash buyers. You could co-wholesale, right? Or daisy chain, whatever you want to call it. It's kind of all the same thing for the most part. For me, I know that there's people with different opinions and all that kind of stuff. I love it all. It's amazing. But there's another tactic. I actually have a student of mine. Her name is Yatang, Yatang, sweetheart. She has money. And we found out she actually doesn't want to find deals. What she wants to do is she wants to lend her money and get inserted into deals by getting a portion of the equity.
Yep.
So it depends on what you want and who you are. This is where people get lost. Is I would find somebody novice, maybe a mentor that will give you a one-on-one and break down your individual situation. Because if I had a 30-minute conversation with you, I would inspect your whole life. I would understand and go, you know what? That 110 grand, why don't you private money lend that out for 6 months? Focus on generating leads with distressed property owners. You're never going to need that $110,000 to build a wholesale business. There's the answer. You'll never need that. Use that money as a lender. Use that money as maybe inserting yourself into bigger deals. But definitely don't ever be the person that spends $110,000 trying to get a deal. Save $109,000 of it. Maybe spend $1,000 on some software and some other things. Do you guys have any other opinions of that?
And I think that's a great piece of advice that you gave them, Pace. Again, at the same time, anybody that is looking at this and the thing that I want to point out here is that you're still so attached to this result of yours. I need to be a millionaire by 36 that you're going to create so much anxiety for yourself in the process of doing this. I mean, first and foremost, if you want to get into wholesale, fall in love with wholesale. Mm-hmm. Fall in love with real estate. Fall in love with understanding how to determine value and the process of using these amazing contracts and instruments that we use to transfer control of a deal from one person to another and then can extract money from that by doing that. These are the things that need to get you excited. And if that doesn't get you excited, maybe actually wholesaling isn't for you. Maybe fixing and flipping is for you. Maybe being a private lender is for you, like Pace had said. So I would say the first thing you need to do is really dive in to this whole process, dive into this world and see, does this get you excited in the morning? Mm-hmm. Are you just so enthralled with real estate and understanding this process that you can't stop learning about it, if that's the case, it's for you.
Yeah, and that's beautiful that you said that. Putting a timeline on it at 36, I get it. I mean, you need to have some sort of
goal,
target.
Yeah,
sure. But also, you got to become a millionaire. You got to become the person. It's a different brain. You got to you got to build that. You got to enjoy that process of going from 100,000 to 1 million. And so what work do you need to do there? We could tell you every single marketing technique, ways to close the deal, how to build your cash buyer database, the big 3 there, right? We could give you every single step, show you exactly how to do it, handhold it. But if the mindset's not there and the squad's not around, it's not going to happen.
The fact that you have 110 grand in the bank in the first place, already tells me there is something different about you. It is not easy to gather $110,000 in the bank at the age that you are, right? And so let me first just congratulate you for being the cool motherfucker who got $110,000 in the bank. Now what we got to do is figure out how we're going to 10x it.
Yep.
Here's a good question. Do you guys do in-person classes here in Phoenix? Oh, the good old days before COVID. Remember all the times we'd be hanging out at the TTP office and do these events and hang out and do these little like pop-ups and stuff. And Jamil, you remember that auditorium you fed everybody Chick-fil-A and all this amazing stuff? Guys, we used to do a lot of in-person classes. I used to do this thing.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Steve Trang's meetup. Oh my gosh. We used to do this thing in my office every Friday. I had a 26-foot whiteboard and I would cram people into my office and I would fill the whole whiteboard up with dry erase marker all the way down 26 feet. And it would take me 2 or 3 hours and you couldn't even move. But COVID changed that, guys. The game changed. And so a lot more people have gone digital. I would love to do an in-person event. I don't know what that would look like because a lot of people are like, well, I want to do it for free. Well, here's the problem with doing for free. If Jamil, Brent, and I did a free event, you know what would freaking happen? We'd have 600-700 people show up to this thing and it's going to cost somebody money. I don't know, man. I don't know. Do you guys want to do an in-person event or should we just do?
In fact, what I really want to do is a 3-day mindset intensive where the 3 of us collectively bring our mindset heroes and the things that we do ourselves to curate the most incredible minds in wholesale and creative real estate and share our strategies and share not our techniques on lead generation, okay? Because who cares? You can get that on Wholesale Hotline. I'm talking about really figuring out how to change what's going on between the ears. How would you guys feel about that? Would you guys be interested in doing something like that? Pace, Brent?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love it.
Can you do a real estate convention that's affordable? I've told you, I've probably done, Jamil and I traveled the country where we pay our money to come talk to you guys. Like, I don't know what more affordable that is. We've never charged for the going around the country and hanging out with people. Our average pop-up gets 300-400 people to show up to these things, and then we teach for a couple hours. So I don't know what more I can do to make that affordable. Maybe pay you to show up? I don't know. My mastermind is only available to my existing sub-2 students. I don't market it. It's not available. People ask me all the time, how do I join your mastermind? Not available to you. I'm not selling it to non-sub-2 students. So if we did a mindset Zoom or a mindset intensive, Jamil, we'd have to charge something. Otherwise the space is it's not going to be free.
Look, here's the other thing is that when people aren't invested at least minimally into something, they don't take it seriously, brother.
Brent taught me one of the most important lessons of my life. He told me it was back in the day when I would drive people around in my Prius, which is so funny because nobody remembers this shit. I used to drive around every Saturday and take people on trips in my Prius and take them to appointments, take them to my houses, take them on appointments. I made a name for myself in this industry by doing shit for free for people. And then Brent shook me one day and he says, you need to understand something. People pay attention to what they pay for. They have not committed to themselves. Therefore, they're not going to take any action on the stuff you teach them. And he was right. It was like 90% of the people that I talked to in my Prius, even though they saw it, they smelt it, they felt it, they were in the appointments. I took them to my office, all of those kind of things, all the things I did for free. The majority of those people are not even in this business anymore.
It's hard to get an ROI if there's no investment.
That's interesting. Yes. So that is that, Kelly. I appreciate the question, but I don't know what more I could do for free. We do a tremendous amount for free. Where do I sign up and who do I send money to for the mindset meetup?
I'm seriously going to put something together, and I'll be communicating with the two of you guys to get some alignment on this, and we'll figure this out. This isn't about making money on it. To be honest with you guys, I want something transformative. I want to have 1,000 caterpillars come into a space, and I want 1,000 butterflies to leave.
I love it.
Can I, do you guys mind if I promote something?
Not at all.
Knock it out, brother.
It is free. And I'm going to teach you guys something magical. Okay. We did this a couple of months ago, but it's backed by popular demand. It is teaching a child how to get a deal. So my son Asher got his first deal a couple of months back. We did it live and we're going to do it again. Let me pull this up and, oh, wow. Okay. Check this out. I'm going to share this just real quick if you guys don't mind. I'm limiting it to 500 people. Okay. Because it costs me money if I open it up to more. And look how many registrations I have for this already.
Amazing.
Okay. I opened it last night. So I have 43 registrations open. I'm going to give you guys the link in the side chat. Okay.
But shouldn't you just let them be kids, Pace? Shouldn't you just let them be kids? Why would we teach our kids this stuff? Shouldn't we just let them go and play video games? And
actually, I did get I got a lot of those comments last time. Do you remember? Did you see those comments?
Yeah, of course.
People are just let the kids be kids. I'm like, yeah, let's let the kids be kids, play video games and do stupid shit all day long. You know what? I wish my parents taught me how to get deals. Shut the hell up. Anyway, my wife is going to teach my son and anybody else that wants to learn. It's only 2 hours. It's a Sunday, March 6th. You guys can see it on the screen right here. I'm going to give you guys the link in the side chat right now.
Amazing.
It is limited to 500 people. That means there's 37 spots open right now. If you guys want, I'm going to here's the thing is it costs me $1 per registration. Okay. So I'm going to open it up to another 100 people. I'll spend $100 to do this and my wife's time. She'll have a 30-day-old baby by the time this happens. And she's going to be running my household and all that kind of stuff. My wife, who works maybe 10 hours a month, literally my wife works 10 hours a month, makes roughly $25,000 a month on 10 hours a month. The last time she got paid a juicy check, it was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 grand. Where do you think she found the deal from? Keegley. So my wife's going to show you guys how to do a couple of things like that, of how to find a buyer like me, and then how to find where the deals are. And within 2 hours, my wife will show you. Otherwise, I'm going to give away $1,000 to somebody in the audience if my wife can't get a contract in less than 2 hours on a Sunday evening at 6 p.m.
Incredible.
Okay? When is this?
March 6th.
March 6th.
Bro, she's having a baby in like 2 days.
Yeah, she's having a baby in 2 days. So she's
going to teach that baby how to do a deal live.
Yeah. Laura,
while breastfeeding.
Make the baby do it, dude.
While breastfeeding. And I'll make sure she shows her boobies on camera for anybody. It will get everybody there.
Oh, there.
You're there? You're down?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
My guys, I'm not trying to turn my wife into some like slave or something. My wife loves this business. She's always finding deals for us. My wife
she's the best. She's the best.
But she'll make 25 grand a month.
Yep.
By just sourcing deals for us. So guys, if you want to watch that, I opened it up for another 100 people. It is completely free. I don't have anything to sell. It's not creative finance. It's just, I'm a cash buyer here in Phoenix. My wife is going to show you guys in less than 2 hours for free how to find a buyer and how to find somebody who has a deal, connect the dots, make $5,000, $10,000. You have zero excuses. Okay. And we're calling it Teach a Child How to Get a Deal.
Love it.
Love it.
Guys, yes, Facebook user. The link has been posted so many times. It's an AirMeet link. It's Here, I'll put it on the screen, you knucklehead. Holy moly. I got to fly into your house and show you the link is in the side chat. I'm going to give you a noogie and scratch the top of your head, you knucklehead. The link is in the side chat. My wife, actually, you know, what's funny is my wife does not know that I have volunteered her for this because my wife is ride or die, bro. She'll do it 100%. What do you got for us, Brent Daniels?
Well, first of all, guys, we make sure that you are checking out Wholesale Hotline on iTunes, on Spotify, wherever it's at. Love to get, we had 10,000 last week. Would love to have 12, 15,000.
And we're giving away a cash prize next week to somebody who reviews us on the podcast.
By the way, we will do that. Matt, you're in charge of that. You find that review and we'll
find that review. Tomorrow. We'll put that money out. Okay. Guys, go leave the review right after Hotline tonight. Go leave us a review, and one of you is going to win a few $100.
There we go. This is page 194. There are different forms of privilege in society, but the ultimate privilege is peace of mind. And with that, we end Wholesale Hotline 103. We love you guys. Join us on the podcast. Check it out. We have new episodes every day. We'll see you next week.
Later, everybody. See you next week. Wait, hold on. What's our show next week? Are we bringing on Jerry Norton?
Pardon me?
Are we bringing on Jerry Norton?
Jerry Norton.
Wholesale
Hotline.
Jerry Norton, Wholesale Hotline next week, guys. Later.
Or just say squat up.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
What are you doing?
I didn't say nothing.
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
So squat up and enjoy the show.
Cool. I think we should use the one where Jamil doesn't say anything.